I need to get new tea. I'm running out. So, welcome. This is Metal Lens Reviews. I'm Lou, and if you're new, thanks for checking out my channel. If you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe. You know, all that jazz. So this is the segment, which I do very sparingly. It's the podcast, the real talk. Basically, I pick a subject, anything from relationships to, I don't know, video games, and I'll talk about it, my experiences, and everything in between. Alright, so I had two choices, two subjects. It was either nostalgia, stuff that makes us feel young, or worry. Worry is pretty big. Fear, anxiety, depression. Worry, you know? So, alright, I think that one actually, I could talk a little bit, experiencing it more and more, especially as you get older, and it is not fun at all. It's a pain in the ass, actually, you know. Just before I did this, you know, created this whole video, I was actually looking at people's experiences with ayahuasca. Not sure if you guys are familiar with ayahuasca, but it's this, I guess it's a plant that's made drinkable. It's processed to like a little cup of, looks like green liquid, where you drink over a course of like a ceremony. It's usually in South America, Peru, Costa Rica, those regions, Central South America, what have you. And it's like a hallucinogenic, you know, but everyone has kind of a different experience. Basically, it's out-of-body stuff. You know, you get really sick, you might throw up, but then you hallucinate. One guy explained he's seen the beginning of humanity, from the part where we started using our thumbs, to creating fire, to the internet, and he went beyond that. He saw us colonize other planets and eventually destroy Earth, but it wasn't a big deal, because at that point we've expanded to the galaxy. Now, you know, anyone could argue when you take a hallucinogenic, it's your own personal journey, you know, and odds are it's your brain, you know, sensors going nuts, so it makes up, kind of like a movie, it makes up, you know, whatever you were thinking or might have seen, or maybe you're subconscious, or maybe it's something bigger. My point is, that stuff, including mushrooms and some hallucinogenics, and not for everybody, you know, treat people that are depressed, have anxiety, or, you know, insomnia, you know, and I think it's pretty interesting. Stuff that's taboo growing up, don't take this, this will kill you fast. At the end, could potentially make you feel better. So, as you get older, when you get to a certain point of time in life, there's like a list of things that you got to check off that you did. Especially, you know, if you have a family, if you buy your own car, you know, you learn to drive, you have your own, you know, a house, all these things you got to have. But given the situation, given society, these are not excuses. These are, you know, factual. Now, if you're living in some little suburb in, I don't know, Mexico, then, you know, life is probably completely different, you know. If you're living on the West Coast, then you probably have 2 jobs, you know, because things are expensive. If you're living in New York, you probably have 3 jobs, and you live in a studio that could barely, you know, hold a bed, but for whatever reason, you're there. You know, you're trying to live the American dream, and that's all of us, I think. But it's so unattainable now because, just given the situation. Once again, not excuses. I don't care if you have a full-time job and make, you know, 5 figures. You're going to be struggling at some point. And that's because, it's not, you know, you don't have your stuff together. It's because the surroundings don't have their stuff together. And that makes life that much more difficult. Follow me? I believe in balance. If you don't have balance, it's kind of like the old Asian yin-yang, you know, positive, negative, too much of something, and it's all out of whack. So, I always believe you gotta have that. You gotta have some kind of comedy in your life. You gotta have some kind of seriousness. You should be allowed to have fun, given the moments. You should be allowed to, I don't know, express yourself, be opinionated, all these things, and somehow not, insult other people. You know, now I see a lot of these self-help, therapists, these, ready-made millionaires that may have gotten a head start. Maybe they work to, get into their high status in life, but you can't down people that, are still working the 9 to 5, that are still working the overnight shifts, that are still doing what they can, Because you got to think, not everyone's goal is aligned, okay? Even though if the platter of success is put out in front of you, maybe, just maybe, somebody doesn't want that. Maybe they just want to have fun, or, I don't know, go about their lives. Maybe they're taking a cue from how their parents lived, They want this simple life. Unfortunately, it doesn't look good on the resume, you know what I mean? Being simple today, or just having the bare minimum, or just, getting by, it's not accepted anymore. And people are shunned. Some people are not. Some people are like, what's the problem? How come you're not, hauling ass or, hustling? Well, sometimes you have that capability and sometimes you don't. Sometimes there's things preventing you. Suppose you're in debt. You get bill collectors calling you now. You owe a lot of money. You get your wages garnished for whatever reason. Maybe you pay child support. Maybe, you owe a lot of rent, back taxes, a car note, mortgage, all these things that are all real, and they keep weighing you, pushing you down. You want to get out. You want to, hey, I want that 70-inch TV. Well, you can't get it. Not now anyway. There's ways to get it. Obviously, you get anything you want. You put your mind to it, but things are increasingly harder nowadays, and you have to keep up with the Joneses, because if you don't, you're left behind. That's what I feel like. I feel like I was left behind, okay? Like everything was there, and I was in grasp, but, life gets serious, You change careers, you change jobs, you try to make time, and this weighs on you. And this is where the fear comes in, how can I please this person? How come I don't look like, Thor? Because then you start seeing what's acceptable in society around you. Maybe you're getting up in age now. Now you're like, well, I'm alone. I don't have kids. I don't have my own house. I'm not doing too good. And when you have a mentality like that, it leads you down a dark path. What do you do? You can't just, hit a button and check out. You can, but, it's bad. It's a bad thought process. What do you do? Because there's no book that's going to tell you. There's no support, But I guess at this point, if you kind of, if you share that with people, and those same people hang around, and these are your friends I'm talking about, then that's your, before you fall down that pit, that's your lifeline. That's the branch you hang on to, whatever it is. I don't know, it could be a coworker, it could be your best friend you've been with for years. Maybe it's your wife, maybe it's your girlfriend, whatever, whoever's still in your corner. That's the person you gotta, not complain to, but, use as support. Because life is very short when you think about it. It could really end tomorrow. You don't know. Or none of us are, wizards. You can't just think of what will happen, And it puts you in this big pool of uncertainty. And that's when the worry comes in. Am I doing enough? Because once again, life doesn't have a set of directions. You may think it does, but it doesn't. Am I doing the right thing? Am I doing enough? Every criticism, then you start looking at problems for yourself, Look at me, I dyed my hair. I don't want to do that. I did it because, I don't know, it's things you do when you get a certain age, so stupid things you do. You buy that gym membership. How many times are you going to go to the gym? You work a full-time job? If you work a part-time job, you're on call. How do you make time? You got to really, make time. You somehow you have to cut things out of your life, and it's constant baggage over and over again. There's no exit. I mean, if you have nothing going for you, I'd always say change scenery. Easier said than done, I get it. But if you're, single, by yourself, no kids, not really, maybe you're paying rent instead of a mortgage, save the money, pack up, and go somewhere else. But do your research. That's what I say. Move, get out of the situation entirely. Because it's like a disease, You can't take the medicine half-assed. You got to fully commit. Because there's always that fear of the baggage coming back. So people that are able to do it, they're able to remove themselves entirely from whatever shitty situation, maybe the city they live in, they don't like, they're not feeling, they don't have friends, they haven't been with a girl or whoever in a while. Well, maybe that's not your place. Maybe you don't want to spend eternity where you're at right now. And if you don't have those expenses that I listed, well, by all means, do your research. Leave the country. Check out other cultures. Expand your mind. Talking about taboo in the beginning. Try something weird. Do some hallucinogenic drug, that might open your eyes. Be safe, but you gotta do something. You gotta strike your body. You gotta. And this is one thing I took from weightlifters and those self-help people. You got to make yourself uncomfortable, and I do believe there's a truth to that. You can't, hunker down and kind of wait for things. It doesn't work like that. You got to kind of be proactive, even if you're shy. I'm shy. So I do things to kind of break out of it. I'll be silly. I'll be goofy. Maybe I'll have a drink. Surround myself with friends. It's like, taking vitamins almost. It gives you a boost of confidence. That stuff. So, like I said, you got to make yourself a little bit uncomfortable. And if you could go ahead and do that, and, because you got to celebrate the little victories too. You're at a bar, there's a girl, you guys make eye contact, she's alone, you're not, which is super rare because nobody travels alone to bars. Okay, well, not, yes and no. But, and trust me, from experience, you'll always have those missed opportunities, and they suck. And you just, then you start to regret, and then you feel like shit. So, my advice to myself, my advice to anyone listening to this, just gamble, gamble situations. Not money, gamble situations. Fucking toss your dice. You might get snake eyes and crash and burn. You might roll 2 6s and win. You don't know. That's what it is. It's a gamble. Because you don't, obviously, there's someone watching above. Like, we're chess pieces. And, instead of being on, like, autopilot and letting that person just kind of push us in a direction and see what happens, that's not a good gamble, because you can kind of tell where that move is going to go. You got to change it up a little bit. You got to, like I said, be uncomfortable. Take a risk, maybe. Whatever. Just know your limitations. Don't, jump into the fire. Look at the fire. Go around the fire. But don't jump in. Whatever you do, don't jump in. Oh, man. Yeah, I know this probably sounds like one big rant and ramble. But, I don't know. It's a different approach. I normally have a different setup, too. I usually do these kind of recordings off of a cell phone, but I want to kind of, mess with the lighting. I use the cell phone and an external mic for the pickups, just so I could come across clear. But, it's pretty early right now, so I could talk as loud as I want, because in South Philly you have paper-thin walls, and you can hear everything. I'm thankful right now. I think people are at work right now, so I'm off today, but, it's whatever. I miss the days, well, kind of, when you, for those who live in the, the burbs, the suburbs, or Jersey, or a place where there's no row homes. You know what I mean? Your neighbor is like, I don't know, far away, you know? But you miss people, I'll tell you that. Visiting Jersey is one thing I recognize, you know, being a little older than, as opposed to being younger. You tend to miss people. One of my fears is obviously, dying alone. But, like I said, if you surround yourself with people that stuck around this long, you have long-term friendships. If you're already married, have kids, or a long-term girlfriend, then half the battle is won. Half the battle is won. Because there's that thing called unconditional love, where someone will always love you just for you being you. So don't lose yourself either, because I know people that could do that. People could change like that. You can modify yourself and you can improve yourself, but continue being the class clown. Continue, being the village drunkard. But as long as you get shit done, as long as you do what you're supposed to do, I don't see any problem with having fun and, letting off some steam or whatever. Go to concerts if you can, I'm not telling you to do any of these things. I'm just saying, I'm giving you options on what to do. Because what I noticed now, like within 15 minutes before I started this, is, like I said, not only do you have to kind of take yourself out of your comfort zone, which is really important. I can't stress that enough. I will do that. I'll do it if you guys do it. Because you missed opportunities. Surround yourself with good people and make things like this. Make videos. Talk about stuff. Don't do it just for views. You got something to say, you say it. And we all have platforms, especially, with YouTube. You got a platform right there. Use it. Express your feelings. Talk to other people you would honestly never meet. And let me tell you, it's a bit of a load off. It's kind of like going to a therapist, No one will answer you back. You might get no responses, but that feels good. Maybe it's texting a friend. Maybe it's talking to a parent or whatever. Whatever it is to change your mood, I suggest you do it, Because everyone deserves to be happy. Even if you think you're the problem or whatever it is that's bothering you, if the fingers are pointed at you, stop and think, is it really me? I mean, how bad of a person could I be? I critique how I look sometimes, I still wear, flannel, band shirts, jeans with way too many pockets, because I like that, But if I were to go to a formal event, I'd dress up if I have to. I'm not, going to associate with those kind of people. I'm not going to be, drinking at the Radisson Hotel or whatever, or whatever famous hotel. You know what I'm trying to say. Don't change to fit into another group. You work so hard to get to this point, even if it's not getting you anywhere. You still put in the work. Why would you want to do that? That's the thing. People don't, visualize their own potential. I think people don't date for love anymore either. It's convenience. How can I make you happy? How it's not like romantic involvement anymore. It's how can I benefit off of this person? And there has to be a balance. I mean, I believe in a working household, especially if you meet someone and you guys take that jump. Maybe it's not kids, maybe it's an apartment. Now you're living with your long-term girlfriend. How do you not drive each other insane? What do? You work, or I don't know, maybe one preps dinner while you work. If you have a kid, maybe one watches the kid, or maybe you get, you go half on a babysitter, whatever it is, to make life continue on. But you still got to have that balance. You got to understand each other, not just on a love, all right, let's go do it, let's get hot and heavy, and then you hate each other afterwards. It's like, well, what the fuck happened, No. You got to have enough breathing space. I mean, it's important to love the person you're with, but it's also important to, you know, go out and, I don't know, watch a movie, or, maybe you want to, I don't know, hang out with friends, by yourself, with friends that you grew up with that may not associate with your significant other, whatever, whatever the case is, whatever gets you through, I always say go for it. You want to go to a museum, you want to buy a mug at a museum, you should be able to do that. If you have the means, it's not the end of the world. My point is, no one should tell the other person what to do. There should be always a balance. I realize I said balance quite a lot, and I'm just going to stick by my word there. There's a glare right over here. I don't know what it is. But anyway, let's see, did I cover all what I was going to say? I think I did. So I know this sounds like one acid fueled trip, just a bunch of stuff, but no, I really mean everything I said. Worry is not going away. It'll always be there because our minds are weird. They work off this stuff, but like I said, if you can find any enjoyment in the little stuff, any whether it be hanging or drinking with friends, going out once a week, you need something to look forward to. Something I always tell people what you need to do. I tell it myself. I should, take my own advice. A positive distraction. That's what you need. Something that will distract you even momentarily for a day, a week, of all the craziness that's happening around you, stuff that you can't avoid. And, and someone close to me even said, you can't really help everything. You can't help everyone either. You gotta take things kind of, as cliche as it sounds, one step at a time. Just do you. That's important. It'll make you live a little longer. Trust me. And, just do what you can with what you got. There is no magic lamp. You can't expect 3 wishes. You're not going to become a millionaire overnight. Sorry, it's just not, it's not how the world works. You put yourself in those directions if you want that. And the sacrifices involved. Other than that, I don't see a problem being an average Joe. There's problems with other people thinking about how you want to be an average Joe. I get that a lot. If you're in the dating game, today's women don't want to hear that. So you got to work on other values, which is another crazy conversation on its own. But I do believe, as crazy and cliche again as it sounds, there's somebody for everyone. And it's how hard you look, and I guess how much you want to raise the bar. Does that matter? Those are all things, that factor in when you finally do settle down with someone. How the vibe is. It's very important because you'll know right away. Trust me, you'll know. It's like simple. It's a phenomenon. I can't even explain it, but you'll know if person A and person B, you're A, she's B. If you're gonna mix, you'll just know. It's a weird phenomenon. It's like, I don't know, lightning. It's like a scientific thing. You could do things to improve your chances. You could raise the bar, expand your selection, whatever it is. But the ultimate connection, whether you're going home with someone or not, is entirely up to you and that other individual and how the connection, if it's there or not. Like I said, at least you won't have to waste your time with that, because you'll know. And yeah, I feel like anything else I say after this would just be me repeating myself. So I hope anyone listening, casually or looking for advice, you got something today. Because even if you got a little bit, if I helped you in any way, shape, or form, that's satisfaction enough, guys. Or just take what you know. Maybe someone else is in need, and you maybe send them this link, to my video here. Maybe it'll get them out of their funk. Whatever I can do to help. That's my contribution to society. Not a therapist, but I'm a good listener, and I explain things, I think, a little bit different than most. So, like I said, for those listening, I hope it helped. Well, guys, that's all I got to say. This was a 25-minute and counting rant on fear, anxiety, loneliness, and hopefully, in my words, the solution, or at least a positive distraction to those things. So, if you guys like this, if you like what I had to say, please, like, comment, subscribe, share this with people that you feel like are, going through a tough time. And, like I said, maybe my words, just a little bit, could, change their direction or, help them out in any way. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Until next time, I will see you all very, very soon. Peace.